externally. But the mind usually, you see, remain here, but always look outside. That's pity. So you see, and also the mind always, you see, look outside and criticize and something, you see,
interfering.
Yes, interfering or external, but never bother about mind itself. So now you see, we have to see to give new instruction to the mind. Now, good, you see, you up to now, you see, you already, you see, check outside thoroughly. Good, okay, good. Now, you see, time has come, you see, to check more mind itself. Go inside. Now here, you see, sometimes your eye close, sometimes more helpful. Sometimes open mind. I think in long run, open mind, open eye, not close, or not deliberately open or close. No, just
natural way.
Just some kind of ignore, indifference way.
Do not bother about the eye.
Like you say, the certain object, whether it's a mental object or anything, is visualized in mind. Then you say, don't care what I see or what I lit, you say, move. Just you see, ignore. Visualize something is inside. Then your main mind is concentrate on it. Then eventually, firstly, is withdraw our mind, including the sense of eyes, sense of hearing, or these things, withdraw. At the beginning, you sort of make a determination. Now, next few moments, I will not let these sense of organs go external object, and especially even the senses goes, my main mind will not follow. And then also within the mind, the thought, the memory about past, and some idea about future. These thoughts also deliberately try to stop. Then if you can, the duration, some kind of thoughtlessness, a little bit longer, the duration eventually increase. Then at the moment, you may get some kind of feeling empty, nothing, that kind of, some kind of empty, like space. Or just like deep ocean way. Some kind of wave on the surface, come and go. But the water itself, pure, just remain clean. That kind of thing. So that one way is look to mind itself. Although not easy, it's not easy, but I think it's worthwhile. Worthwhile is to meditate or to try. And then sometimes I think the one is very, very simple. It's just close your eye and do not think nothing else. Right? Or do not think anything, and just some kind of complete rest. But this, of course, is not much useful. But for temporary, some kind of relief, you may gain. So that's one thing. Then another level, say, is the compassion. Or compassion here means, I think I would like to mention about the meaning of genuine compassion. Genuine compassion is not only the feeling of closeness feeling, and also not develop on the basis of this is my close friend, or this is something good for me. On that basis, is some kind of feeling of concern, feeling of closeness. That's not compassion. That's, I think, reality more attachment. Reality. So that kind of feeling is attachment. So the genuine compassion is mainly the realization, basis of the realization that these beings also, just like myself, who want happiness, who also have the right to overcome suffering. On that basis, is some kind of the spirit of concern, some kind of feeling of concern, feeling of closeness. Now that is genuine compassion. You see, that compassion can go towards your enemy. The enemy is one aspect. You see, that person or that community creates problem to me, to us. So you see, it called enemy. It is true enemy. Right. It is. Sorry.
In reality,
it is enemy. It's harming on us. But they're very personal, very community. You see, from another angle, these also human being. These also sentient being. It's just like myself. They also have the right to overcome suffering. Then, you see, on that basis, develop genuine concern, genuine feeling of concern. Now that's the genuine compassion. So the genuine compassion is something unbiased. Our narrow-minded the compassion or feeling of love and compassion, that is the biased one. Now, like meditate on compassion. Now, first, visualize certain. Think some unfortunate people. Say now, for example, in those people who are facing starvation, or who have mental defect. So these kind of people, visualize or remember these, and then you develop some kind of genuine feeling of concern about that, feeling of compassion. Then they think more reason. Then you have when is some kind of emotion, but this emotion relying emotion based on reason, that is something different. The attachment emotion, no reason. Anger emotion, no. I think the basic nature, no reason, but some kind of spontaneous, the emotional feeling. The compassion, this kind of compassion, cannot come instantly.
Right. Cannot come spontaneously.
Spontaneously, but analyze, reasoning, making reason, thinking. Then this emotion eventually come. So this kind of emotion is based on reason. Although same kind of emotion, very strong feeling, or sense of involvement. Involvement there, but based on reason. So there are different kind of emotion. So they analyze. When you develop some kind of strong feeling, then when you really have that is a strong feeling, then on it meditate. Your whole mind, put or something, whole mind now is entering in it. So now put there, and without thinking, without any disturbance, just simply meditate on it. That is the something like writing, and at the end making seal, that kind of thing. Analyze. Then finally, as a ceiling. You see, your mind now determined, I will remain on it, that kind of a thing. Then when you are feeling eventually a little bit weaker, then again analyze and try to develop this strong feeling. Then meditate on it. That's the way. That's one way. So then you should go days and weeks and months. Our mental attitude eventually will change. The more compassionate is the feeling is developed, then much easier to tackle anger. You see, the hatred or these things, negative emotion, very forceful. If you analyze, no sound basis, but you see, the moment is very strong. And when you see when at the time of you see, fully developed the negative emotion, very difficult to react, to control or to react. So the proper way is the training the compassion, and meantime when you develop more appreciation, feeling of appreciation about the compassion, then you will see the negativeness about hatred. How much is it trouble bring by hatred, and including one's own health. You see, constantly anger constantly comes. Then blood pressures, or no more sleep, no more appetite, all these things happen. Even if you're with, even with your dearest friend, you may quarrel. So the anger, I think, international level, or national level, or family level, individual level, bring disaster. So anger sometimes bring some kind of powerful, forceful energy, but that energy I usually describe blind energy. So although it's some kind of additional energy come due to anger, due to hatred, but that energy is basically blind one. So so it's not sure whether it can be destructive or constructive. So under certain circumstances, we need some kind of countermeasures. Some cases we need countermeasure. If someone take advantage on you unreasonably, unlawfully, then of course it is our right to counteract, but without anger, without hatred. That we can do, although not easy, but we can do. So actually, that countermeasure, which taken by analytical meditation rather than hatred, that countermeasure reality more effective. So these are the way to shaping our mind. Then time goes really. So I mean, this is here. You see the realization about the negativeness, how harmful, how uselessness or destructive about these negative emotion. One way is some kind of appreciation about this positive mind. Then your whole attitude towards these negative emotion. Now you already you got some kind of caution. So mentally some kind of distance develop. So by itself, eventually these negative emotion will reduce, will not come as often as before. And meantime, the positive emotion increase. That's the way of changing our mind. It's a transformation about our mind. And then the more work on mind itself. Analytical meditation and single pointedness meditation, these goes, the sharpness of our mind increase. and also the alertness, alertness also is increase. So you see your mind in daily your professional work, you see you can utilize more effectively, because you can work more effectively because of our mind now in every field. Because of that, once our mind become sharp and alerted, and meantime calm, so all our professional works can be more successful. And then I think the most important result is more compassionate attitude develop. Then some kind of self-confidence will come. It automatically reduces fear. It's more self-confidence, more determination, more willpower. Willpower out of pride, that also is a blind one. But it's a self-confidence which is a sincere motivation. That's sound, self-confidence. So you see, when we look, you see, matters, when we analyze matters, there is some are good for health, some are bad. And we need to see very precisely, making distinction. Similarly, when we talk about mind, there are so many different kinds. Some are useful, some are harmful, and also due to other factor. It's the same kind of thought. Sometimes because of other factor, sometimes it becomes positive, sometimes it becomes negative. Now, for example, desire. There are positive desire, negative desire. And even I think the anger sometimes can be positive, sometimes generally negative. Hatred, I think, always is negative, I think. But hatred towards hatred may be positive. So then you see some kind of ego. There also is good and bad. So you see, we have to analyze all this with detail in order to check our mind. That's very important. Then is the tolerance. So you see the more inner strength there. Then tolerance also, you see, automatically. Tolerance is something like byproduct. Some really self-confidence, see clearly the reasons, then tolerance is there. Blind, more narrow-minded, then difficult practice tolerance. Then there's a tolerance cannot come. If your mind is really see all different angles, and self-confidence, determination there, then tolerance comes. So tolerance in our life, tolerance and forgiveness, these things in our life, as I mentioned before, is I think very, very useful, very important. Now, especially in today's world, unfortunately, due to different religious tradition, due to religious faith, some really, I think, very, very unfortunate events now happening in the name of different religion, even bloodshed also is happening. That's very, very sad. So I would like to share something about the tolerance among different religious traditions. I think very, very important. So, world major religion like Christianity, different kind of Hinduism, and the Muslim and Judaism and Buddhism, and so on. All these is a major world religion. In spite of different philosophy, they all have the potential to serve humanity, to help humanity, to create peace of mind. So there are common things there. We can work together. And more than that, each world major religion, there are some kind of specialty in each. There are some special things there. So you see, work closely and knowing each other, especially the close contact among practitioners, then we can we can really learn from other tradition. So what's a enriching way? Enriching one's own tradition or one's own experiences. So not only the common ground, but if each one have some special unique things there. So we can learn, we can enrich one's own practice from learning from, taking from other different traditions, from traditions, different traditions. And another, I think another angle, simply, in reality, one religion cannot be sufficient for variety of humanity. No matter what that religion is good, it will not satisfy variety of people. Just like a dish or food. If we have one restaurant who serving, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all time same dish, or this day, next day, whole month, whole year, one dish, nobody come. More variety, then it's more customer. Come, isn't it? So naturally, it's the human mind. There is so many varieties, so many has a different mental disposition. So simply, one religious tradition, you cannot satisfy. That's very clear. And also, all these major world religions now last many centuries existed on this planet. There's one religion, you cannot eliminate other religions. That's also reality. Whether we like it or not, we have to live together. Under that circumstances, it's much better to live harmoniously. So now, especially in this country, in India, traditionally, the spirit of ahimsa. I think very, very rich, very wonderful. Philosophy is there, and through centuries, because of practice of ahimsa, believing ahimsa, in this country, not only is it produce, not only has the home of many different thoughts which come within this country. Not only that, but the religious tradition or thought which come from outside. Also, find home in this country, such as Christians, Muslims, and I think Judaism. So traditionally, the ahimsa in the religious field also, I think, very, very rich. So now today, time goes, but this is the rich philosophy or rich as the thought or tradition. No point to neglect. We must keep, we must sustain these values. Sometimes I have a half joke to some my Indian friend. Traditionally you produce ahimsa here, but export it. Now too much exportation, too much export. Now not sufficient to reproduce in this country. In the past, the outside world, nobody taking much interest about ahimsa. Ahimsa, many people feel the sign of weakness. But now time goes, it's a worldwide, ahimsa, non-violence. Now more interest, outside. But a country, the country, the ahimsa produce a little bit neglecting. That's unfortunate. So I really want, or I think my wish or my appeal to my Indian brothers sisters, it is extremely important to keep your the value of your tradition. Of course, certain tradition is I think the result of this old feudal society. These must change, must also go. But the other hand is many deeper value in our tradition is must keep. While you are acquiring about Western technology, Western science and these things, these one's own century-old tradition must keep and is a combination, modern as a material progress and spiritual, traditional spiritual how to say, tradition must combine. It is so that they not only benefit for Indian on this continent, but also can be, I think, because of the great contribution for entire humanity. So that's very, very important.